I am Shayna Blackwood, and welcome to my show reel. Good afternoon. My name is Shayna Blackwood, and my group member Richard Hobson and I will be doing a presentation on our game that we know. We created a parkour game, and the game, its goal is to essentially move from one point to another in a simulated environment using a variety of movements. This variety of movements may include running, jumping, climbing, etc. And the main idea of the game is that you are running from, school stress, whether it may be assignments, group presentations, you name it. You're trying to escape from the stress of school or school life. The objective of the game, like any other, is to complete the game essentially without dying. Mr. Hopso will now give us a demonstration of how our game works.
So I'll be doing the demonstration of the game. So as you can see, we start in the classroom. We have the teachers and us to take our seat. But nope, I'm leaving school. So our first challenge, you see we have a checkpoint there. So our first challenge is to jump on these and not die. Our second checkpoint. So if I were to die on this, I would spawn back here. Alright, and you can see we started with 5 lives. Now we have 4. Let me jump up here. Next challenge is to jump across these platforms. You can see I'm kind of bad at my own game. So the game is not particularly too easy, but it also has a little bit of trouble. But it's not too hard at the same time. So our last challenge. Solve the equation and choose the door that holds the answer. Choose wisely or be sent to die. So we can see we have a math problem on the wall. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Right? You know, if we choose 8, we would die. So 16 divided by 4 is not 8, last time I checked. And then 45 times 5. Wait, it's actually 225. My bad. So it's 225. So 678 minus 279. That's 3. Yeah, that's 329. 399. Then you can see when we go through there, that's how we beat the game and we basically exit the school. So before that, let me just pause here to talk about the other aspects of the game and the assets that I use and the challenges. Okay, so this will be the game asset section, right? So the main challenges that I face, I would say it's the visual coding and not the actual building of the game. Right. So for example, let me go into this aspect of the game. So the visual coding. So it was really a challenge to find all the different nodes to use because it's not really actually simple if you've never interacted with it before, because it's my first time using this visual coding. But with the help of the lecturer and the videos, I was able to make it behave like how I wanted it to. So when the player opens the door, the player, which is me, opens the door, and the self, I name the door self. The player opens the door, the player takes 200 damage, because when they open the wrong door, you want the player to die, right? And also, I think I had to consider was if they die and come back, you don't want them to be able to go through this door again. That would defeat the purpose. So I had to put a barrier there, right, to be able to block them. So they have to go through the right door, which is 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So the main challenge was the visual coding part. Another challenge was to actually get all these designs, because to scroll through all these assets, because in my opinion struct is very limited with the assets, so I have to be creative and see what I could find. So these platforms wasn't really ideal. I would prefer to use like school related objects. For example, if I could find a book or something that would be more, suitable, or maybe a pencil or something school related, right? But I used what I could find. And why I chose this game design is because
I think the whole FPS shooter is really overused, and I wanted to switch things up. So I chose a parkour running type of game, right? And I also said I didn't make it too easy because they saw that I was dying before. So yeah, and some more features of the game. Let me show you the player. So the player, you can see that for the health, they only have 10 health, right? So as soon as they touch any of the lava, they're going to die, right? And I also gave him 5 lives because I think that's very adequate enough to be able to get through all of this. Plus, if they die, they would spawn right at the checkpoint. So I had to consider all of that. So moving on to what makes this game fun or interesting. As I said before, it moves away from the FPS shooters, the gun games, the gun type of games, right? And you would especially like this if you like the running type of games where you jump from obstacle to obstacle and dodging stuff, right? And it's not too hard, as I said. And what I would change if I had more time is I would make the designs a lot more, neat, and make sure there's not any, loose edges sticking out, and just use better assets and those stuff. Use better assets and really be thorough with the visual coding, right? But we did what we could in the limited amount of time. And also I would add more levels, right? So right now we have just three challenges. We have the lava, we have the obstacle parts where you jump, and then we have the math kind of part. So there's 3 sections right now. In the future, planning to add more. Also planning to add more. But this assignment was really fun. It's the first time I'm coding anything like this or building anything like this. Right. And that's it for the school escape.
So, in conclusion, the game is about escaping the stress of school, whether it may be assignments, activities, or presentations. This is a fun way for students to be able to interact with a game that they can relate to, as it would be something that they would be experiencing in a day to day life, being college students, high school students, whichever. Now, ways in which we think that we can make our game better is we would have made the game longer if we had more time. Also, we would include a timer or scoring system for competitive play, and we would also introduce power ups or abilities like double jump or slow motions to create a more seamless game and for it to be more interactive.